Good morning, Inspiration 1390 family. It's Sonya Blakey, keeping you moving and motivated in the morning and informed. It's important that you have the correct information. And today I am graced with the one and only Dr. Byron Brazier of the legendary Apostolic Church of God. Usually I'm in his space, in his sanctuary, but today he's in the room with me, and I love every minute of it already. Good morning, Dr. Brazier.
Good morning, Sonya. It's a pleasure to be with you today on 1390. Power and praise.
Yes, power and praise.
I thank the Lord for you.
And same here. And you're not here to preach today. You're not here to, give a word today, but you're here to share some important information. This being a crucial year for us for many reasons. Of course, the election that's coming up and what we're seeing before us with the political candidates. But you wanted to do something to inform our community to make sure that we are in the know and that they, do their proper research and be strategic in how they vote. So you, Dr. Brazier, along with the Apostolic Church of God and various foundations, present a strategic voting town hall.
Correct.
And why did you think it was necessary to do something like this?
We ran into so many different people within the congregation and outside the congregation they were really looking for an understanding. And then some made proclamations. Well, I'm not going to vote. I don't like this. I don't like that. And when it really comes down to what our future looks like, what our future for our children and our children's children look like, to hear someone say they would not vote or they had grievances really struck a nerve and hit me in my spirit. And what I really wanted to do was to say, well, let's think about this strategically. And that's how we came up with the idea of a strategic town hall that deals with our engagement in the electoral process, knowing that it is not the end all and be all, but it is one of the levers that we have to begin to set a vision for our future with those who are politicians that have capabilities to either bring us to a place of disaster or at least bring us to a place where we can see our future.
Yeah. Here with Dr. Byron Brazier of the Apostolic Church of God. And I think it's very important that faith leaders say something because you have a lot of influence and a trusted voice. Your thoughts on the faith community being strategic in how they present town hall meetings of this kind. Why is it important that the church take the lead?
It is the churches, black churches, have taken the lead since I was born. I have watched from 1954 with the Birmingham all the way through the civil rights movement and so forth. And churches have always been on the forefront, and even now are still. When you take a look at what our churches are doing in the healthcare space, in the housing space, and so forth, we have always been proactive concerning the population, and so this is no different. In fact, it is more imperative now than any time before, given the stakes. Do we want to be able to live a life that was in the past, or do we see a better future? And the Project 2025 really brought that to light.
Yes, sir.
And so I was born during that time when 2025 was a reality, and to ask me to go back, right? And I've always had that theme. I'm not going back. Long before she brought it out, but I co-sign on that whole idea that we cannot and must not go back.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the misconceptions that the black community have currently as it relates to voting and some of the things that are being put out there, specifically by one particular party? I'm not telling anybody to vote for whoever. But what do you think some of the misconceptions are? Why people are saying that they're not going to vote, or is this what's the mindset right now? What's going on?
It is so hard to know, but we do know this, that we live in a very individualistic society, and we live in a society that is grievance based. So as opposed to looking at the 90% that's really good, you look at the 10% that isn't, and you expand that and you say, this is my condition. So when someone looks at an individual, they look at what they're not as opposed to what they really are. And so we live in this grievance base where I'm impacted individually, and I don't want to do this because it's my vote, it's my individual. But in our community, we have to take a look at what is in the best interest of our children and our children's children. And that also should be a part of the equation, which is the reason for strategic town hall. We need to make sure that those who are not able to vote, those who are in our own protection, those we brought into the world, have a space and have the capability to live the life that we have lived.
Yes.
How do you live a life of freedom? We cannot afford to leave our giants that we have to fight for the next generation.
Right, yeah.
We must fight our own giants, and voting is one of those levers.
Yeah. Here with Dr. Byron Brazier of the Apostolic Church of God, talking about a strategic voting town hall meeting that's happening this upcoming Sunday, August 18th at 6 p.m. What do you expect for folks to learn, to gain? What would you say would be your top 3 things that you want people to learn from this voting town hall?
One is the need to vote. Number 2, the idea of how to now have a testimony to someone else about how they need to vote. Those are the primary 2, and then to be able to walk away with an understanding that says, not only am I going to vote, but I'm going to engage after I vote.
Yeah. And looking here at your panel, you have you're very strategic, and even the folks that you chose for your panel, some prominent Black voices. Can you share who's going to be on the panel?
Sure, sure. Roland Martin is actually going to do is going to be a moderator.
Okay.
And he was actually my first call.
Really?
And I asked him, I said I want to do this on strategic voting, and I want you to moderate it. He said, I mean, it was almost immediate.
He's going to be great.
And then I called Reverend Sharpton, and he said, I'm all in. He said, whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing.
Wow.
So he's all in. And then we wanted to make sure that we had local representation.
I get it.
And so Rufus Williams will be on, Matt McGill, Hermine Hartman. We have a special guest, Morgan from the Tribe.
Okay.
She's going to be on. And then to hit our in between audience, because we have a 40 and above.
Okay.
So those are 40 and above.
40 and above.
And
okay.
then we have a 40 and below, and
Okay.
they're both going to go on the same time.
Oh, wow.
Same day. One will be in one sanctuary, and the other one will be in the banquet hall. But Constance Jones, who is the CEO of the Noble School System, a charter school, she is going to be on with us, and so we're going to have a great time. And then we have our under 40. We've got Ian Brock coming. We have a young man, Torian Small, who is he was a news personality out of Washington D.C.
Okay.
We have corporate. He's coming. We've got any number of different voices. Cornell she's going to be there, and so I think we're gonna make sure that voices are heard across our generations, and we want everybody to be able to come. It's an open invitation, just like church.
Just like church. Okay. That's great, and it will be streamed live too, is it right?
It will
Just
be
in case
streamed
people can't
live.
Make it.
Right. We're gonna try to hit everybody's platform that we can. And one of the other things is that I've asked 2 of my pastoral friends, one in Atlanta and the other one in Detroit, to actually do the same thing after the DNC. So this is prior to the DNC, and so we know that things are happening all the time.
All the time.
And what we're doing within 30 days will be dated. So all the way to the election, they need to do the same thing in those battleground states.
Right. You gotta keep.
And they have agreed.
Yeah. You got to keep the momentum up there.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Byron Brazier of the Apostolic Church of God, a strategic voting town hall. It's this Sunday, 6 p.m. Everyone is invited. He said it's like church. Come on in the room. Or you can also stream it live. But this is amazing. I'm going to post up the information so everybody can know what's going on, be involved, share the information, be engaged, because this is a very crucial year. Every year is a crucial year, but with this being, the voting year for president, we all need to be all hands on deck. And so thank you so much, Dr. Byron Brazier, for taking the lead on this and, being bold and confident in what God has called you to do.
Thank you, Sonya. It has really been a pleasure to be with you.
Amen. You got to do it again, right? We got
Yes,
to do this one more time.
Absolutely.
When you're not so busy. All right, you guys make sure you follow us at Inspiration 1390. You can get all the information you need.